Hello, my name is Garrett White. Today I will be discussing a case study on a project I have recently developed in my Web Content and Management class. My client consists of video game marketing designers and big-name gaming companies. My clients love to communicate their message through visuals and encourage artists that they hire to create the scenes through products. When setting a scene, one tends to create a world through the photography they take of the product. For this assignment, I had to render a Cinemagraph to help create the poster to celebrate a large accomplishment by Microsoft. In the year 2021, Microsoft has sold at least 51 million copies of the Xbox One consoles in order to commemorate the event. The goal was to create a Cinemagraph of the product of our choice being used. We will then post this media on our brand's Instagram page. Keeping big names brands in mind, they will primarily look for someone who can utilize this setting strategy to create an enjoyable environment for the product to be displayed in, while displaying information about the brand's accomplishments. Although there have been instances where Xbox had made new records for sales and celebrations for them, they do not have a deep record of utilizing posters to help show the record, especially in the format in which they are looking for. My expected outcomes are to see ideas and concepts that I've come up with and choose my favorite. From there, I will continue the project by developing plans on how I will set the scene and figure out the times in which I will start shooting my product. The effect and value of Cinemagraphs have proven themselves as a powerful marketing tool, working a moving picture into social media strategy. For example, it can increase engagement up to 110%. Cinemagraphs offer a designer or business an intriguing visual that they can utilize on their websites. I approached my challenge by taking a look at their slogan for the Xbox One, "Jumping Ahead." I also remembered they love to showcase their products being used, and what better way to showcase a lovable setting for the product than a college dorm with snacks and drinks with controllers to match. Although I had familiarity with the Xbox products, I had to do a bit of research for the creation of the scene. I used image references of the products to base my sketching concepts on. Those sketches were then given critiques by peers and other designers. I created sketched mock-ups and prototypes of what I wanted the scene to look like, and what elements were going to set the scene. A rule of thirds shot of the Xbox would be showcased on a wooden platform covered in a red blanket. The console is surrounded by items resembling an inside hangout. The Cinemagraph portion would be the game disc being inserted and exported out of the slot. Different examples of the Cinemagraphs are Coca-Cola, Nokia, and the gasoline company BP. These notes on Miro about Cinemagraphs helped shape the ideas that I had for my clients' products. They taught me what makes an effective Cinemagraph and how I can incorporate the slogan into it to help further the message towards the target audience. I utilized a few items to help capture, edit, and configure my Cinemagraph together. I used a PowerShot SX40 HS Canon camera, and I used software such as Adobe Bridge and Adobe Photoshop to bring in the photographs and edit them. I unfortunately had to devote more days into the photography portion of the Cinemagraph because I thought it didn't have enough props for the scene. Tip number 1 for me would be to keep the scene relatively light as far as props. In the end, if you want this to be a decent size for social media, you're gonna want the cropping size to be small, so there won't be enough room for extra and unnecessary items. There were two things that I had to keep in mind when shooting: the angle of the Xbox and the lighting. I decided to limit the amount of props shown because the finished product was going to be cropped due to the Instagram's scaling settings, so the majority of the shot had to be the Xbox console. As far as the lighting goes, I chose a great lounge in a dorm at New England Institute of Technology. This offered me good lighting that I would need to get a good glimmer of the product. When I felt comfortable enough to take pictures, I moved on to the video portion. To move all the video files to the computer, I simply just removed the SD card from my camera and inserted it into the MacBook. Those images then opened up a file on Adobe Bridge, where I then opened them in Adobe Photoshop for the editing process. For the final product, I created a PNG for the Cinemagraph and then so that I could mask that particular portion out that I wanted to move. The rest was trying to find a good typeface for the accomplishment detail and the company logo. Once I was set with the design and the masking, I set the dimension size to 180 by 180 and saved it as an MP4. For more information on Cinemagraphs and more interesting visuals such as this, be sure to head over to my website at gwhitedesigns.com.